Let me know if this sounds like you. Every day you show up, you post something beautiful, insightful, heartfelt, and still it's not landing the way you know it could. If you're feeling like you're throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to see what lands with your audience and nothing is hitting, stop posting. You're going to burn yourself out. And I promise you, there is a better way. It's called clarity. You don't need more content. You need a potent message that speaks to one specific person that you know inside out. Without clarity of your ideal target client, your message is floating in the abyss. Your people can't find you if you're speaking to everyone. If you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one. If your message is too wide, it actually becomes too quiet. You want to be a big fish in a small pond, not a little fish in the ocean. So there's a difference between making content and making contact. Your people are out there, but before they can trust you, before they can truly see themselves in your work, they need to recognize the frequency. So today, we're going to ground your magnetism by naming the 3 frequencies your community needs to feel from you. And that is who you serve, what you really offer, and why it matters to both you and to them. And before we get into this, here's something amazing to know. You don't have to guess. The clarity you crave is written in the stars. That's why I always point the women I work with to their Midheaven sign in astrology. It holds clues, soul-aligned coordinates for the impact you specifically came here to make. So if you're feeling directionless, your Midheaven sign holds the key. When you pull up your birth chart, which you can do with any online calculator, my favorite is astro-seek.com. It's the MC at the top of your chart. Once you know what your MC is, you want to ask yourself, what qualities does this sign teach me to master? What shadow patterns have I been healing in this area? And who do I feel drawn to support? What version of myself do they remind me of? There's also a ChatGPT prompt in the description to help you figure out exactly who you serve, what you offer, and how you do it. So begin that process whenever you can. Now let's start with the first anchor of true visibility. Who are you really here for? If your message isn't landing, it's probably because you're still trying to talk to a crowd instead of one person who needs to hear you. You know this person. You've either been her or you've been beside her. And she's not just some ideal client avatar with a Pinterest board and a niche. She's a real person with real pressure on her chest at 2 a.m. She wants something she's afraid to say out loud. And she's scrolling your content right now, wondering if you're the one who gets her. Not just the strategy, but the ache. When I sit down to write, I don't think about what will get the most likes. Vanity metrics might get you these quick dopamine hits, but hitting your soul clients with the exact medicine they need will get you paid. And it will help you create a movement. I think about her, the woman who wants to be seen for more than her output, the one who's brilliant but tired, and the one who keeps saying, maybe next year to her biggest dreams. You have to know what she secretly hopes is still possible. What she would ask for if I handed her a magic wand and said, go on. Say it, make a wish. That's the heart of your who. Not an age bracket, not a job title, but a real, nuanced, breathing human with longings that mirror your own. And the clearer you are on who you're truly here for, the more magnetic you become. Because when she hears you speak directly to her, she stops scrolling. She leans in. She's like, how did you know? How did you know this is exactly what I'm feeling? And that's not luck. That's the path you've walked, and now you can show her the way through the dark. You become the lighthouse. And if you really want to meet her, you have to step into her mind. Not just what she wants, but what she's already been through trying to get. She's tried the courses, she's tried the coaches, she's posted, prayed, pivoted. She has spent hours staring at her screen wondering, why is this working for everyone but not for me? She's smart, she's intuitive, she's not lazy, she just doesn't feel seen. And deep down, she wonders if her voice is too much or not enough. She's not looking for another 5-step plan. She's looking for someone who sees the whole of her fear and her fire. Some days she's in flow. Most days she's in her head, second guessing every word, editing her captions until they don't even sound like her anymore. She wants to be visible, but she also wants to feel safe. She wants to lead, but she's scared of being misunderstood. And if she's being really honest, she's starting to wonder if she's missed her moment, if she's too late, too old, too sensitive, too inconsistent. This is the heaviness she carries. This is what you're speaking into. And the more attuned you are to her actual emotional world, the more your message becomes a mirror that says, Goddess, I see you and I know the way through. So it's important to create an I help statement, which looks like this. I help identity who feel core struggle or block back into their desired embodiment or result through your signature approach or tools. so they can finally soul-aligned outcome, ripple effect. I'm gonna put this on the screen. Here's mine. I help goddess women, spiritual leaders, creators, and coaches go from feeling muted, misunderstood, or afraid to be fully seen to embodying their true voice and visibility power through sacred strategy, brand clarity, and energetic alignment so they can create an impact, magnetize aligned clients, and step into their icon era through my astrology knowledge and my spotlight strategy. So play around with that. The next thing we want to do is get into what you're really offering. So if you asked most women what they do, they would say, I'm a coach, I'm a healer, I help people get unstuck. But that's not the real offer. That's just the title or the toolbox. What she really needs to know is what actually changes when she walks with you. Because right now, your audience is not confused by your value. They just can't feel it. And that's usually because you're talking about what you do, not what they become. Because people don't buy information, they buy transformation. You're not offering breath work, you're offering a nervous system that knows how to feel safe again. You're not offering business strategy, you're offering a woman her voice back. And you're not offering a course, you're offering a return to self, a quiet confidence she thought was gone forever. So what does your work really give her? Not in a brochure kind of way, but in a bare soul, chills down the body kind of way. What shifts in her world when she integrates what you teach? What's finally possible that wasn't for her before? And what will she feel the night after your call? When she's brushing her teeth, when she has her phone down, and she's whispering, something's different. I'm different. That's the frequency. That's the offer. Because no one is buying a module. They're investing in a moment. The moment they feel themselves come back online. People buy your energy. And if you're not clear on what that moment is, your content will always feel like a vague promise. But when you are, that's when you've just created your golden elixir. So the what is not more content or another strategy. She's coming to you because she's tired of feeling disconnected from her power. She wants to wake up and feel proud of what she's creating. She wants to stop shrinking in rooms where she knows she belongs. And she wants to finally stop being the woman who almost goes for it, who ghosts her potential. What you offer her isn't just a skill set or a service. It's a shift in how she sees herself, in what she allows herself to claim. Your work is the bridge between the version of herself who doubts and the version of herself who leads. And women are the best at selling emotions. Sales is an emotional game. So I want you to ask yourself, what does she believe is possible for her after working with you? What is she brave enough to do because of your presence? And what does she say yes to now that she used to avoid? That's your real offer. And if your ideal client came running up to you in the streets because she recognized you, what do you wish that she thanked you for? Like she goes, you completely changed my life. I finally did blank because of you. For me, my ideal client runs up to me and says, I finally published my first song because of you. I started that podcast and I have 1 million downloads and people listen to it daily because of you. I created my online business and changed my life because you gave me the confidence to post. I'm selling confidence, not the method, not the format, not the pretty sentence you put in your bio, but the moment she breathes differently, speaks differently, stands taller, walks lighter, feels more beautiful, posts something that makes her feel a little shaky and a little free. That's what she's buying, and that's what she's waiting for. That's what you're here to give her. And when you can name that in your content, not vaguely, but vividly, your work becomes transformative. Now let's get into the why. Why does this all matter? You can have the best offer in the world, the clearest content plan, the dream brand. But if your why isn't alive inside of you, your message will always feel a little hollow. Like this work has to mean something deep to you first before it moves anyone else. So here's mine. I do this visibility work because I'm a singer and songwriter. And for a long time, I abandoned that part of me. Not because I stopped loving the craft, but because visibility scared me so much, I preferred letting my art die inside of me than being perceived by other people. I know I'm not alone in that. I do this because my inner artist needs a voice. So that's my personal why, the soft one, the sacred one. And then there's the global why, the fire. I do this because I want to raise the matriarch. Because I believe the world shifts when women remember who the fuck they are. Because too many of us have been silenced by old stories, the witch wound, the good girl wound, the genius wound, the list goes on. And by the way, grab my free visibility codes PDF in the description because I talk about all of these wounds and how to heal them. So I serve women who know they're powerful, but they still whisper instead of taking up unapologetic space. women who are here to lead but got trained to hide. That's why this work matters to me. Because when a woman finds her voice again, when she stops contorting herself to be liked, when she builds something true and lets herself be seen, that's not business anymore. That is medicine. And I'm also an advocate of women remembering we aren't against each other. We need each other deeply in a patriarchal world designed to pin us against each other. So a lot of us have sister wounds that need healing. And by the way, if you're looking for a sisterhood community, be sure to join my Moonlight membership specifically for women in business who are looking for support in their visibility journeys. So ask yourself this, goddess. What do you want this work to give you? And what do you want this work to give the world? That's your why. That's your flame. Keep it close, speak from it, and watch what happens when you do. And also, when people know the vision you're driven by, they can't help but be obsessed with your mission. Because intention is everything. People love knowing the real reason you take action. It's also how you create a cult-like following, which we will also get into in another episode. So once you know your who, your what, and your why, like you really know it in your bones, your content stops feeling random. It starts feeling inevitable. It's not, what should I post today? It's, what does she need to hear right now? It's, what's burning in my chest that won't let me stay quiet? When you know who you're here for, what you're offering, and why it matters, you start transmitting your message from memory and experience. Your posts become portals. Your stories become medicine. Your offers feel less like marketing and more like, duh, of course I would buy from her. She gets me. That's when people lean in, because your message is perfectly honest. And content that connects comes from feeling more deeply, being willing to say the thing that no one else will say because you know she needs to hear it. That's how loyalty begins. That's how community forms. And it's actually insane what happens when your messaging becomes so clear. You start attracting the same woman in a different font. They all have the same blocks, the same fears, the same desires. And you start realizing, oh my God, I'm sitting on gold because I have the exact solution you're looking for, which then births a whole idea for a scalable course and your ticket to freedom. Since you won't be selling one-on-ones anymore, you'll be selling a transformation to the entire world or your specific woman. When your content is no longer about being impressive or randomly seen, you don't waste energy anymore. You start being in contact with your soul client. So let's talk about what misalignment looks like and feels like and what happens when you start losing your magnetism. It looks like when you're staring at the screen trying to sound smart or helpful or on brand, but nothing you write feels alive. Like you're saying the right things, but your resonance is gone. Your magic is like, poof. Where are you? Your community isn't responding, and deep down you feel like you're repeating yourself, like something essential is missing. It's gone quiet. And this is all just data, nothing to get in your shit about. It means that you're trying to create from your head, not from your heart. From what you think you're supposed to say, not what you're truly here to say. And you're likely writing for the algorithm instead of the woman, creating from a fear of being forgotten, not from a desire to be felt. Maybe you're copying structures that worked for others instead of trusting your own rhythm, because you are the algorithm. And it's subtle because from the outside, it can still look good, but inside, you feel disconnected from the message you're building. You feel like a guest in your own brand. Misalignment just means that you've outgrown the way you've been speaking, and that's obviously a good thing. That means you're evolving into a deeper level of truth. So if your content feels dry or heavy or invisible lately, pause. Don't try to fix it with more output. Get quiet. Come back to the woman you're here for, the work you're proud of, the why that still gives you chills. You're realigning, and from that place, everything starts to flow. So now you know who you're really here for. You know what you're truly offering beyond the offer. You know why it matters for both you and for the woman you're here to serve. This isn't just content clarity. This is soul direction. This is visibility that starts on the inside. And from here, you have a choice. You can keep tweaking, hesitating, planning the perfect rollout, or you can step, you can speak. You can show up today with one piece of truth that reflects who you are now. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start showing up from the place that's real. Because visibility is about expression, and when your voice is clear, your people feel it. That's what makes you magnetic. Your frequency, your fire, your fullness. So if you're ready to craft messaging that sounds like you, sells with soul, and builds a legacy of women remembering their power, book a spotlight session. Let's sit down together. Let's unearth your who, your what, your why. Let's make your messaging unmistakable, magnetic, and powerful as fuck. Because your work deserves to be seen. And goddess, You were never meant to stay small. And I also want to hear back from you what kind of content you would like to see on this channel, because I love providing for my community. So let me know in the comments. So I'll see you in the next episode.